Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Joseph Mutua, a solutions architect at AWS, and this is getting started with Windows on AWS. Today's agenda will begin with us going over what is AWS. We will then review what we are hearing from our customers as far as Windows on AWS is concerned. Then go over the reasons why customers choose AWS for Windows, and close with a demonstration on how Windows works on AWS. We'll finally go over the technical details of how we make that particular process smooth. So what is Amazon Web Services? The answer to this is we are a cloud computing platform. After over a decade of building and running the highly scalable web application Amazon.com, the company realized that it had developed a core competency in operating massive scale technology infrastructure and data centers, and embarked on a much broader mission of serving a new customer segment, such as developers and businesses, with web services that they could use to build sophisticated and scalable applications. AWS manages and maintains the technology infrastructure in a secure environment, and businesses can access these resources via the internet or other channels like VPNs to develop and run their applications. In the AWS cloud, capacity can grow or shrink instantly, and businesses only pay for what they use. So what are we hearing from our customers? Customers often tell us that they don't fully know how to tackle cloud migration projects or how to get started, and often want to understand more about their Windows estate. In particular, we hear questions like, how is Windows capitalized in terms of infrastructure use? What kind of licenses are we going to be using, and how will we optimize when we move these workloads to the cloud? Customers are also looking to understand how AWS compares with competition, and customers also ask us questions on how to think about managing and transforming Windows workloads after migrating them to the cloud as part of their modernization journey. So, when we look at Windows workload cloud migration trends, we see that it's clear that a large portion of Windows workloads have and will continue to move to the cloud. In fact, a study conducted by a third party, IDC, shows that within 2 years, we can expect to see nearly half of all Windows workloads running in the cloud. Top of that, 49% of business applications today and 46% of data management workloads on Windows servers will be in the cloud in the next 2 years. So, let's look at why customers choose AWS for Windows. And when we look at this today, as to the reasons why customers prefer running their Windows workloads on AWS, and it's a common question that I get asked by customers whenever I meet them. And some of the key reasons that customers are running their workloads on AWS is the breadth and depth of services that AWS provides you, the reliability of the AWS platform, coupled with performance and the low total cost of ownership after you migrate your workload to the AWS cloud, as well as the migration, innovation, and experience that we provide you with. I will be talking about each one of these as we go through the webinar today. So let's look at breadth and depth. And if we start with the breadth and depth, AWS supports the whole Windows stack, including Active Directory, .NET, SQL Server, and Visual Studio. We offer unique capabilities, such as Active Directory, and we are also the only cloud to provide a cloud-like dedicated host experience for your Windows workloads. AWS offers a far broader selection of services, along with much deeper functionality within most of these services than any other cloud provider. We have the widest selection of cloud services, including 51 services where comparable options are simply not available on the next largest cloud provider. The AWS platform is reliable and secure. And I mean, this we pick from, downtime hours that have been published out there, which is, we look at the downtime hours published and the regions impacted, as well as services impacted. And with regards to reliability and security, the AWS global infrastructure is comprised of 81 availability zones within 25 geographic regions, with announced plans for 21 more availability zones and 7 more AWS regions in Australia, India, Indonesia, Israel, Spain, Switzerland, and United Arab Emirates. The AWS region availability zone model has been recognized by industry analysts as a recommended approach for running enterprise applications that require high availability. If we look at AWS, you realize that AWS provides twice the number of regions with multiple availability zones than the next largest cloud provider, and that AWS delivers 281 security, compliance, and governance key features, which is 58 more than the next largest cloud provider. So from a performance perspective, and why we tell you that AWS provides better performance, and this is based on a lot of technical details that have been evaluated by independent parties out there. But when we looked at the numbers, for example, from Principal Technologies on a SQL workload, and we compared this with running this workload on AWS versus running it in Azure, the study found that running the workload on AWS, the workload runs twice at the speed on AWS and at a price point that was 62% lower. Of course, you'd want to understand, what does then that mean from a TCO perspective? That is the total cost of ownership. So, in addition to seeing better performance, better reliability, we are seeing all these advantages coming at a lesser cost. And customers can feel comfortable in their financial decisions to run Windows on AWS in the overall. Statistics coming from a research firm, International Data Corporation, estimate that customers will realize an average return on investment of 442% over 5 years. When you bring your workloads on AWS, that is. And you can bring your existing licenses, this is Windows licenses, to AWS, and save even more with savings plans and EC2 Spot instances, which are options of running your compute workloads. Optimization and licensing assessments, which we perform before you move your workload, helps you to further provide AWS with the right-sized recommendations based on your on-premise utilization and Microsoft license consumption. For this, we usually start out by doing an AWS optimization license assessment for you to help you, get the right sizing, the recommendations for this based on what you're running on-premise. Look at the CPU utilization, memory utilization, look at how many Microsoft licenses you're consuming. And this helps you, understand what you have and where you can optimize, reduce on your compute footprint and the overall cost of licensing. Once you're running your Windows, workloads on AWS, we will further help you lower your overall cost with tools like AWS Trusted Advisor, which subjects your workloads to the 5 pillars of well architecting on AWS. Then we will also look at things like AWS Compute Optimizer to help you optimize on your EC2 instances and whether you are right-size them properly, whether you're subjecting them to the an adequate amount of load, and if you need to size them lower. We'll also look at Cost Explorer among other cost optimization options. Then AWS offers, a comprehensive set of EC2 instances, with unique pricing models, like I mentioned, like Spot, which then, combined with the outputs from Cost Explorer, Trusted Advisor, we can help you save up to 90% of your Windows compute costs. So let's look at the flexible licensing options for Windows on AWS. And when we talk about this, it is important, and it's an important step for customers to actually, look into this. And this is because AWS will offer you flexible licensing choices, and the OLA helps you as a customer to understand and determine the best choice. So you have the flexibility to choose from various available licensing options, including buying fully compliant licenses from AWS with a pay-as-you-go model, or bringing your own eligible licenses to AWS. And you can use the AWS License Manager to actually centrally manage your software licenses across both your AWS footprint and your on-premise environment. So just one of additional thing I'd like to mention is the fact that Windows Server licenses now come included on EC2 dedicated hosts. So, you can run license included Windows Server instances on dedicated hosts, which enables you to fully utilize compliant Windows Server software licenses from AWS with a pay-as-you-go model. This new capabilities is helping our customers, in scenarios where they had eligible SQL Server licenses to use on dedicated hosts, but did not have accompanying Windows Server licenses to run the SQL Server workloads. Earlier, you could only bring your own eligible Windows Server licenses to dedicated hosts. But now, in addition, you can use the Windows Server AMIs provided by AWS to run the latest versions of Windows Server on dedicated hosts. So let's look at innovation and experience and what that has looked like, over time throughout the evolution of AWS. So as far as innovation and experience is concerned for Windows, AWS was the first cloud platform to offer Windows Server instances in 2008, and year over year, we have released exciting services, additional services, and enhancements based on the feedback that you provide us as customers. And the rate and pace of innovation in this particular space is eye-popping. You can see in the graph. And in fact, we've added over 69 new launches in the last year alone, which can assist you to further really realize that it is easy for you to migrate and innovate faster on your Windows workloads on AWS, thanks to the capabilities that we are delivering. And for this, I would say that our unmatched migration experience has helped thousands of AWS, hosted organizations such as Hess, Ancestry, and Expedia easily migrate and modernize their Windows workloads on AWS. And AWS has been running Windows for, over 11 years, longer than the next largest cloud provider has existed. And we host nearly twice the number of Windows Server instances than they do. Our programs, such as the Migration Acceleration Program and Rethink for Windows, have helped our customers reduce the risk and cost of moving to AWS. So, once you've thought about moving your workloads or running your workloads on AWS, you would want to understand how we help you to achieve this objective in terms of tools and services. And it is a fair question. And from AWS perspective, we offer a broad range of capabilities for running your Windows workloads. We offer several unique services in this case to provide a simple GUI-driven management experience for Windows, which I'll discuss more in the next couple of slides. So let's take, for example, if you're thinking of a scenario where you want to, move from a monolith to, microservices, containerized kind of ecosystem, or, where you want to port specific, .NET from a Windows environment to a Linux environment. AWS offers you a very wide integration with a larger ecosystem on AWS services and tools. And our services are designed to help, modernize as well as, build, next level platform with capabilities such as, porting assistant for .NET, which is an analysis tool that scans .NET framework applications and generates a .NET core compatibility assessment, which helps you, easily port your applications from Windows to Linux much, much faster. Then we have, up to container, which allows you and enables you to easily modernize your existing applications and standardize the deployment and operation through containers, making it, easily portable and making it easy for you to run it across different platforms. So let's look at, the integrated, operation experience for Windows on AWS from a build, deploy, monitoring to management perspective. So when you migrate your Windows workloads to the cloud, you need tools, right, to be able to achieve these objectives of from building all the way to managing and monitoring, without you having to rebuild from scratch and relearn new skills to be able to achieve this objective. So from AWS, we built new tools and services which are designed to seamlessly be integrated into existing workflows, providing simple integrated deployment and management experiences for the entire Windows workload lifecycle. AWS in this regard, makes it easy to manage your operating system images using, for example, Image Builder. It also makes it easy for you when you need to, build application deployment templates using the likes of, the Launch Wizard. And, when your applications and servers are running, AWS provides you a single view to manage, monitor, and troubleshoot your whole server fleet using the likes of, SSM, which is AWS Systems Manager, and for monitoring AWS CloudWatch. And you're able to troubleshoot your whole server fleet and automatically set up application monitoring without requiring a lot of complex configurations. I'm sure you're curious. Which customers and in what industries do exist who are running Windows servers and SQL Server workloads on Amazon EC2? And we have customers from all geos and verticals, from transport, the likes, of IATA. We have from, gaming industry. We have from education, who've successfully managed to migrate their workloads on Windows. And we have many, who will still migrate. And you as a customer can feel comfortable and confident when you migrate your workloads, your Windows workloads to AWS, because you're becoming a member of a larger group. So to migrate and modernize, we have partners who we work with, and we have a Windows competency along with a migration competency to ensure that you as a customer can find an appropriate partner for this journey. We have over 60 partners with Windows workloads competency that serve AWS customers who seek to select the most qualified partners for deploying Microsoft workloads on AWS. These partners have been, validated technically, and their technical capabilities have been demonstrated, across different customers, and their success in helping customers migrate, manage, and deploy Windows workloads to AWS has been proven. So thank you for that. I would say that paints the picture of how we can get you started on AWS from the evolution of Windows on AWS, the features we've added, and the partner ecosystem. And with that, I'd like to take you through a small demo on how exactly Windows works with AWS and how you can get started with your Windows workloads on AWS. So the starting point is to create an AWS account, which there are URLs provided for that. You can see the URL here. So once you create your AWS account, you sign up, you go through the sign up process, you provide some details and some credentials that we ask you. And then you have a username and a password, and you're ready to connect to the AWS platform. So when you connect to the AWS platform and you log into your account, this is what you see, right? Which is the AWS Management Console. So in the AWS Management Console is where you launch your EC2 instances, and you have options for it. We've got wizards, but in this case, I'm going to do it manually. So you click on the launch instance, which takes you to the next console, which is for you to select a Windows Amazon machine image that you can select to be able to run your workloads. It's both for the server side of workloads as well as databases and so on, and in this case SQL Server, right? You also have other Amazon machine images provided from the marketplace for any third-party platform that you could be running on Windows. So the next step is to select the instance type, and in AWS we've got a wide range of instance types provided, cutting from memory optimized to compute optimized to storage optimized, which come in different classes and sizes. And this gives you the flexibility to target your workload with the right instance type. So, you can navigate between the current generation and an older generation to select what works for you. So the rest is, select the networking requirements, which is VPCs and subnets, after which then, you select whether you want to give it public IP addresses or private IP addresses, depending on what you're going to be running on it. Go ahead and assign storage based on your storage requirements. And then you've got, provisioned IOPS, you've got general purpose, storage provided as well. So you've got, the menu to select from. Then tagging is, optional, but it's good for you to be able to identify, the resource that you're launching, the environment it belongs to, or the workload it's running. It's a key value pair parameter. Then select your security group, select an SSH key, and then launch your instance. So as it's launching, you can select there, and then you'll see how it progresses through the launch. Different steps in the launch cycle. You can go in there and name it, or pass any other parameters you want, ideally from a tagging perspective, and then we will wait for it to get launched. We see it's running. So we wait for it to finish, running, and then now we can try and connect. So let's try and connect to the public IP address. So I'll select the public IP address in this case and update my remote desktop client with this public IP address. So that's what I'm doing here. I'll update that, and then I'll try and connect to the EC2 instance. So let's try and connect. But before I connect, I need to retrieve the password as well for RDP. Let's see whether the instance is done launching. Okay. I'll try and retrieve the password shortly, but you have different options of connecting to your EC2 instance. So let's try and get password. If I get the password, fantastic. Next thing is for me to now try and connect to the EC2 instance. So let's just confirm a few details here from a subnet and keys and the name, the platform that my EC2 instance is running on. All right. So let's retrieve the password again. Looks like the instance is still not yet launched, but it should be done with all the checks that are relevant. Once those checks are done, I'll be able to retrieve the password, and then I'll be able to initiate the RDP connection shortly. So yeah, I see it's still initializing some of the system checks. That's why we cannot retrieve the password. Okay. Should be ready shortly. All right, let's try and connect. Yep. So as you can see, I have the password here, which at this point, I'm able to now supply to my RDP client and then connect to my EC2 instance. So I'll supply the password, right? And then I'll be straight landed to the Windows UI. So right there, I mean, you can see we've been dropped into a Windows EC2 instance. I mean, I can start doing server manager, and any network configurations I want to make, updating firewalls. You want to, start configuring, making it a member of a directory and so on. I can start all the relevant, server management activities in this case because I launched a Windows server. Okay, great. So, here you go. I mean, you can start managing your EC2 instance however you want, and add the relevant Windows, perform the relevant Windows actions that you might want to perform. So I would say that that is the process to follow to really start from, launching an EC2 instance to eventually being able to connect to it. And as you can see, it's very straightforward. And I would say, the next thing is for you to go out there and, get an AWS account, get started and try and launch an EC2 instance and see how that process goes for you. So that marks the end of the demonstration. I'd say the next couple of minutes, I will answer questions that might have been recorded in the chat. And this is for me to thank you really for sparing your time to attend the session on how to get started with Windows on AWS. And thank you very much, and have a great rest of day today. Thank you.